What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Hoops in 5. We've got two game ones from last night in the second round, Pistons versus Cavaliers and Thunder versus Lakers. And these games had totally different vibes. One was a grinded out street fight. The other was kind of a warning shot from the defending champs. Let's jump in.
Yeah, it really felt like we got a little bit of everything. You had the young team walking into a tough building with zero fear, and then you had Oklahoma City basically saying, "We're still here, and we're not messing around."
Let's start in Cleveland. Detroit takes game one, 111 to 101, and just like that, they steal home court right away. And you could feel the momentum they brought with them.
It's hard not to connect it to what they just went through. Coming off that huge Game 7 comeback against Orlando, emotionally that can drain you, or it can turn you into a confident, kind of reckless team. Detroit showed up like they knew they belonged.
Cade Cunningham led the way again. He finishes with 23 points and 7 assists. Tobias Harris chipped in 20 and 8. Jalen Duren did the big man work, 11 points and 12 boards.
But honestly, stats aside, the story was defense. Detroit made Cleveland uncomfortable basically all night.
19 Cavaliers turnovers, that's the number. And Detroit didn't just force turnovers and clap about it, they turned those into points. 31 points off those mistakes.
And Cleveland did have a moment, though. They fought back, tied it late in the fourth, and for a second it felt like, okay, the Cavs are going to sneak away with one at home.
Right, and then Detroit just answered. They closed the game on an 18-8 run. Like, the Cavs blinked, and the Pistons were suddenly up double digits.
For Cleveland, James Harden had 22 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, so it's not like nobody showed up. But the turnovers were just crushing. You can't give away that many possessions in a playoff game and expect to survive.
The big takeaway for me is Detroit doesn't look like they're just happy to be here. They look fearless. And Cade, this feels like that, oh, he's becoming that guy moment in real time.
It really does. Like, you can see him organizing, controlling pace, picking spots. It's superstar behavior, even if we're still getting used to saying it out loud.
All right, let's head west, because Oklahoma City versus the Lakers, this one got out of hand. Thunder win 108 to 90, and honestly, it felt even more lopsided than the score.
It was one of those games where you keep waiting for the Lakers' run, and it never really comes. OKC just stayed in control. The defending champs look scary right now.
They're still undefeated this postseason after that first-round sweep of Phoenix, and Game 1 of this series looked like a continuation of that. Chet Holmgren was unbelievable. 24 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 blocks.
And it wasn't just the blocks. It was the way he changed everything at the rim. Guys were hesitating, passing out, taking awkward floaters. He was basically a no in the paint all night.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had 18, and it didn't even feel like he had to hit top gear. Plus, OKC's bench gave the Lakers bench problems. That depth showed up immediately.
Meanwhile, for the Lakers, LeBron had 27, and it kind of felt like he was the entire offense. Outside of him, points were hard to come by.
They finished with 90 total. That's their lowest playoff scoring output in a long time. And you could see how tough it was for them to generate clean looks.
And there's a potential issue on top of that. Jared Vanderbilt left the game with a dislocated pinky. So if he's limited, that's another rotation problem for a team that's already searching for answers.
The big OKC takeaway, they look complete. Defense, spacing, athleticism, a real bench, and they're playing with that calm confidence of a team that's been here before.
Yeah, it's like they're not guessing. They know who they are. And when you're that solid plus that talented, it gets ugly fast for teams that are still trying to figure themselves out.
So zooming out, last night really showed how momentum matters in the playoffs. Detroit is coming off pure chaos. 2 elimination games, an emotional ride, and instead of crashing, they brought that aggression into the next series immediately.
And OKC feels like the opposite energy. Rested, confident, sharp. Like they're not carrying doubt, they're carrying expectation.
Now the pressure swings. Cleveland has to respond fast because you can't drop another one at home and feel good about it.
And the Lakers, they need somebody other than LeBron to give them offense. They can't win this series scoring 90 and hoping LeBron turns back the clock every night.
And it also feels like we're watching young stars step into the spotlight. Cade Cunningham and Chet Holmgren, these are the games that change how the league talks about you.
Exactly. One great playoff run and suddenly you're not a promising player. You're a problem.
All right. Player of the night. I'm giving it to Chet Holmgren. 24 and 12, 3 blocks, and just total defensive control in a playoff opener. That's impact.
No argument from me. Honorable mention has to be Cade, though. He set the tone and he keeps looking more comfortable in these big moments.
So that's the recap. Pistons steal Game 1 in Cleveland. Thunder dominate the Lakers, and Round 2 is already heating up. And before we go, I want to say something real quick. This is probably going to be the last episode of Hoops in 5 for a while. I've honestly loved doing this, watching the games, digging into the numbers, putting these together every day. But it's a lot of time. Editing, research, writing, posting. And when it feels like almost nobody's watching, it gets tough to keep pushing at the same pace.
Yeah. And I think people forget that consistency costs something. Even a short show takes real work, especially when you care about doing it right.
Exactly. So I'm probably going to step back for now. If you've listened to even one episode, if you made it to the end, if you shared it with a friend, seriously, thank you. It means more than you think. Maybe Hoops in 5 comes back someday. Maybe bigger, maybe different. But for now, this is probably it. Thanks for listening.